Emmy winner Jon Hamm back for a second season of Your Friends and Neighbors. If you have not seen the first season, you will fly through it because it is so bingeable. You just seem like you were having so fun in this role. Like, what's your favorite part of this role playing Coop?
It's a great show. It's exquisitely well written. We have a tremendous cast. It's a bizarrely compelling story. It's tonally got a lot of excitement to it. Sort of got kind of a caper vibe to it, as well as being quite sexy and also funny and scary at the same time. So it's got a lot going on for it, and I'm happy to come back for a second and now coming up on a third season.
Exactly that. You like you said, very sexy. You have so many scenes where you're very revealing. There's a lot of sex scenes. There's a lot of you without your clothes on. How do you get yourself to feel comfortable in front of the camera, knowing this is going to be in front of an audience as well?
Well, I'm executive producer on the show, so I make them do a thing where they reduce my stomach and chisel me abs. So it's the power of AI is working toward my beautiful fake body. No, I don't know. It's very I stare at myself in the mirror and on screens every day, so I'm pretty used to what you see is what you get, and it's all to the benefit of the show, hopefully, and I get a pretty good chance to do this at a high level. So I'm very happy to be on the show and telling the story for the people.
It's so much fun to see this show just keep expanding this universe. I mean, we have Olivia Munn, we have Amanda Peet. Now we're getting James Marsden in this second season. Talk about just working with this ensemble alongside yourself because it is so fun to see all these characters intertwined in this kind of lucrative, rich neighborhood.
It's a great cast. You know, we're so fortunate. We have heavy hitters up and down the lineup. Shooting in New York, you're able to dip into the incredibly talented Broadway pool of actors as well, and we're super pleased. We have everybody coming back for the new season, as well as the addition of the sublimely talented James Marsden, who's able to bring charisma and menace both at the same time in equal parts. And it's super nice. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. It was really nice to get a chance to share a screen with him.
Your TV work is so much fun to watch with Mad Men, many seasons of that. Landman, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I love that show so much. Fargo, the morning show. I mean, here again with your friends and neighbors. I mean, you get to expand upon these characters that you play across seasons. What is that like to kind of just keep coming back and knocking each TV show out of the park?
Well, it's a nice compliment for sure that when they have you back, especially if you're a guest on a show, but it's equally as fun to come in and do kind of a one season thing, one and done, like I did on Landman. It's really nice to work with the people I've been fortunate enough to work with, whether it's Billy Bob and Demi on Landman, or Jennifer and Reese and Billy and everybody who's on the morning show, and of course working with Noah Hawley and Juno and everybody on Fargo. So the ability to be able to get a chance to kind of strike out on my own here and be the lead of a tremendous cast on our show is a real honor, and I'm pleased that people are enjoying the show and that we're being brought back.
They certainly are. Another terrific season of Your Friends and Neighbors. I'm ready for season three, but you got to see season two this spring on Apple TV. Jon Hamm, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Trevor.
Your Friends and Neighbors just back for a season two, season three coming as well, but Olivia Munn is back as well. Sam Levitt, her character went through the ringer in the first season. I mean, talk about bringing her back here. She kind of had it on herself, but she went through some crazy things in season one.
Yeah. The starting the season with a dead body in a pool of blood was definitely was going to set the tone for how intense and mysterious and crazy this show is. And yeah, like, my character is, you meet her when she's at one of the lowest points in her life, having lost everything, and her husband has left her for the younger version of herself, and she's in a relationship with a man who's newly divorced, who is has zero emotional ability at that point to give her anything more than a sexual relationship. And um and she is in a situation where she does like one of the craziest things that someone can do, And and so it was such a fun experience to I never played a character like this before. Um, and it's really fun to play someone who has to reason and justify really bad behavior and things that are to some people unforgivable. And so it's just a world I hadn't played in before or a character I've had to embody.
I love the character so much. And here along comes Owen Ash, played by James Marsden. Just so terrific. I love the back and forth, the kind of chemistry right off the bat. But your character is playing really hard to get. Talk about building that relationship with James.
You know, James and I have known each other for a very long time. So I went to he went to the same high school as I did when I graduated. And I moved to this high school at 16 years old and I couldn't make a single friend except for this one girl named Jenny Marsden. And she is the younger sister to James. And so years ago, he came back home to visit his mom and his sister, and she asked him to take out some of her friends for dinner, and he took us to Bennigan's. Now, if you have a Bennigan's there in Indianapolis,
Don't know.
it's like in the Chili's family, you know, it's like a chain restaurant like that. And then he took us to get ice cream afterwards. And just having met him, I was like, wow, I'm 1 degree away from someone who's made it. And it wasn't until years later where I'm now in Hollywood and I'm a working actor and I see him at this party and I go up to him and say, like, you don't remember this. And then we stayed in touch. And then, you know, we were both in the X-Men universe. And then now we're here on this show together. And it was so, we had such a, it just, we just, we've been friends and we've known each other for a while. And so there was like a really great comfortability and synergy there. And then to work together was so great. He's so charismatic and uh, it's just so much, it just felt so easy between the two of us.
I love that story. That is so fun how it just kind of circles all the way back. And you have been with this show almost as long as Jon Hamm. I mean, he signed on, obviously, executive producer, but you were one of the first actors to sign on knowing how good this material is. We know it now as well from an audience perspective. Talk about reading the script and just knowing you wanted to play this part, you wanted to be part of this show that already has a third season renewed.
So before I got the call about this show, I had already told my agents that I was done with acting. Um, it was not going to be a big announcement because I always think it's so crazy and silly when like actors announce that they're retiring. Because I'm like, you don't play for the Dodgers. Like no one's going to be like, where are they? It's Tuesday night. We got a game. It's like, just do your thing. So I had said it privately to my agent. And I just gone through so many things with postpartum anxiety and then breast cancer. And but then she calls me and says, "You did get this offer, and I have to tell you about it." And I was like, "Wow, this sounds like a really great opportunity." And they're like, I was like, "Who else is in it?" They're like, "Well, John Hamm's an executive producer, and he was on from the very beginning, but you're the first person that's going to join the show. So, read it and let me know what you think." And I read it and then met with Jonathan Tropper, and I was like, "Wow, this is a world that I haven't played in before." It's a character I've never done. And I loved how we were going to explore how people with enormous wealth and power and status, um, how far they'll go to hold on to that and what happens when they lose it all. And I just really loved like the just investigation into that kind of world and um, exposing all of those flaws.
I am so glad you didn't stop acting. Thank you so much for sharing these incredible stories of how it's all connected. You can watch new episodes of Your Friends and Neighbors Fridays on Apple TV. Olivia, thank you so much for your time.
So nice talk with you. Thank you.
The Coopers are back for the second season of Your Friends and Neighbors. That obviously includes Amanda Peet, her character, Mel Cooper. I mean, Mel Cooper and Andrew Cooper cannot get enough of each other. We thought they were done, but maybe they're not done. Talk about that relationship with John Hamm because it's so fun to see your two characters.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, well, from the beginning, Tropper kept telling me, you're still kind of in love with each other. That's like the kind of like, central romantic story here. And And so even when we're fighting, we're, driving each other insane. I think there's always that kind of undercurrent of, do I want to get back together with you or do I want to just sleep with you maybe? So it's really fun to have a divorced couple who are not sure whether they want to head to the bedroom. I mean, that's just a really fun thing to play. Kind of can't stand each other and drive each other insane, but
You guys are so amazing. I love the relationship between your two characters. I mean, what
it
is that like off the screen, but with Jon Hamm?
um I love him a lot. I really do. And he's so fun and hilarious. And all the drama is on the screen. And yeah, he's the best.
We'll keep all the drama off the screen, but I think your character storyline this second season is so important because we get to explore so much about womanhood, like menopause, something all women go through. I mean, talk about expanding that storyline that your character is going through these real things that so many women will be able to relate to that it's not often on screen.
Yeah. I mean, you just said it. I think it's so cool that I have a middle aged male boss who, who was interested in making something interesting in this subject matter. And some of it's really funny and kind of kooky, but some of it is really what we deal with. And that whole feeling of like being invisible and, saying goodbye to your youth, but then wanting to have a last hurrah, um, and be naughty and go like cow tipping or whatever kind of tipping like that. I thought that he really captured that.
He really does. And I think some of my favorite scenes also are where the guys are all in the sauna doing their kind of thing. Then the girls are all in the sauna doing their thing. What were those films like to see? And those are so fun.
It's really, really lovely because all those actresses, Heather and Miriam, and it's just, I love them. And we can't stop laughing a lot of the time. But yeah, the best.
I mean, surely it makes all those all those scenes worth it because they come out so well. Here we are, season two. What can we expect to see your character for season two? Kind of some tease alerts.
Well, I still think they're kind of, Mel and Coop are kind of on these parallel tracks. And they're both kind of spiraling. And they have, I think it's okay for me to say they have a couple of close calls. And maybe that's all I'll say. Although I think at some point soon, too many people are starting to know or have a sense that he's up to something. Something is not as it appears.
I wouldn't want it any other way without those close calls between them. Your Friends and Neighbors, new episodes on Apple TV on Fridays. Amanda, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Your Friends and Neighbors, one of the most bingeable shows on TV on Apple TV. Jonathan Tropper, series creator, showrunner, executive producer. What do people need to remember about season one before they start season two?
I think they just need to remember that Andrew Cooper started robbing his friends and neighbors' houses. And at the end of season one, even though he'd been offered his job back, he decided not to take the job, but to continue down that path.
And that path is where we keep going in season two. Andrew Cooper, none other than Jon Hamm, just so masterclass performance in this show. He's also executive producer. Talk to about his role as an executive producer and working alongside you to help bring this show to life.
Well, he's been with me from the very beginning. I actually pitched him the idea before I ever wrote the show. So with him, he's very good about like leaving me in charge of the writing. And at the same time, he gets very involved in casting. He gets very, like, we don't cast anybody without a discussion. And what's great is he can pick up the phone and call a lot of people. So, he's very involved in casting. He reads all the scripts before they get distributed, gives me any thoughts he has on the scripts. And, he sets the tone as both the number one on this call sheet and also an executive producer. He works harder than any other cast member on the show simply by virtue of how many scenes he's in. And he shows up prepared and ready every single day. So everyone else had better do the same. So there's a lot of leadership by example with him.
It's great to hear that about someone like him and joining this season, getting that call probably from Jon Hamm himself with James Marsden. Talk about bringing him on for the second season. Did you write the role for him? Because he fits in so perfectly for this role.
When we came up with the character of Owen Ash in the writer's room, we actually put a picture of Marsden up on the wall. Like it was just kind of like he was the avatar. I didn't know if we would get him. I kind of chased him down. He ended up in New York doing a junket for Sonic the Hedgehog, and I managed to wrangle a lunch with him and pitched him on the character, pitched him on the idea. Then I had John call him, and we double teamed him like that, and we didn't give him a choice really.
In the second season, what I love is get to see the expanded stories of additional characters like Mark Tallman's character, like Amanda Peet, like Olivia Munn, all these characters that we love from season one. We just get to see so much more story from these characters. Whose stories are you really excited for audience members to see this season?
I'm really excited about what we're doing with Mel, and it was really important to us to give Mel and Sam storylines that were not connected to Coop, and so watching Mel kind of go through her struggles with menopause and empty nest, and gradually also figuring out all is not the way it seems, all is not as it seems with Ham's character. Like it's been really fun watching her kind of spin out this season. In season one, she was like the Rock. And in season two, now she's spinning out, right? She's having her crisis. And then watching Sam sort of try to figure out, how to get back into everyone's good graces when she's basically been shunned, and her connection to Owen Ash, and watching that story develop, and watching Sam figure out whether or not she belongs in this community. It was really fun to be able to explore them, independent of Coop's storyline.
Their stories are so fun this season, and you have to have Apple's blessing because you already were renewed for season two before season one debuted, and now again, season three already renewed before we get to season two. I mean, talk about that relationship because obviously the show is so good, fans are loving it, but Apple is so on board as well.
Yeah, I mean, from the minute we screened the pilot for them, they kind of got behind the show in a big way. I think they realized what it could be. This is the audience they really want to serve. And yeah, they've been wonderful about it. Like they want to keep us on an annual cycle so that, because I think for fans, if you take 2 years off before you come back, I think there's attrition and you lose people. And the ability to sort of, for fans to know we're coming back every year, we basically we wrap production and we go right into the writer's room. Like we don't really wait. It gives us continuity. It gives us the ability to keep our crew. It gives us the ability to keep our sets in a different way. I think it works for everybody. It's exhausting, but it's a great way to keep the show going.
Yeah. So worth it from an audience perspective. Your Friends and Neighbors, new episodes Fridays on Apple TV. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.